I feel like your two Iowa teams left a mark on women's college basketball, but also women's basketball at large. Is that like kind of crazy to think about? Like you were a part of something that was a catalyst for this like large.
Kate Martin's career was languishing in Las Vegas. The former Iowa star who helped Caitlin Clark reach 2 Final Fours was getting buried on the AC's bench, watching her WNBA dreams slip away game by game. But then something happened that nobody saw coming. In her latest interview, Kate reveals the exact moment she knew she had to leave Vegas, the phone call with Caitlin that saved her career, and why joining the Golden State Valkyries wasn't just a team change, it was a complete reset of her professional identity. If you support Kate, comment Golden State Kate down below. Let's go. Kate Martin's WNBA journey in Las Vegas was fading fast. The former Iowa standout, known for helping Caitlin Clark reach back-to-back Final Fours, found herself stuck on the Aces bench, watching her dreams slip further away with each game.
I'd heard about this Caitlin Clark, and I was like watching videos of her just like having like 40 points, like averaging a million in high school. And I was like, oh, this girl thinks she's gonna come here and rule the world, you know, like whatever. It's gonna be, you know, whatever. And there she did, came in right away and ruled the world. And I was like, all right, here we go.
Picture this: Iowa basketball was nobody's destination before Caitlin Clark and Kate Martin turned Carver Hawkeye Arena into the most electric venue in college basketball. You watched those games. You felt that energy. But here's what most fans completely missed while they were watching Caitlin drop logo 3Es. Kate Martin wasn't just along for the ride. She was the engine that made everything work. Picture this. Before Caitlin Clark and Kate Martin, Iowa basketball wasn't on anyone's radar.
I just remember you have that summer before, and she was doing things that I had never seen anybody do before. And as a freshman, to come in and have that kind of confidence, like, not everybody has that. Like, I was like, oh, I haven't really seen anything like this. And so we knew she was going to be outstanding. And then, at the beginning of the year, we had some big wins, and there was highs and lows that year for sure. But, you know, it took us a little bit to figure it out. But it obviously turned out better than I could have ever expected or thought.
Let's talk about what really happened during those back-to-back Final Four runs in 2023 and 2024. While everyone focused on Caitlin's scoring records, Kate was pulling down 6. 8 rebounds per game and scoring 13. 1 points herself. Those aren't role player numbers, those are star numbers. But Kate understood something that most players never figure out. Sometimes being the perfect complement is more valuable than being the star.
Well, real quick, what did you notice about Caitlin's like work ethic? Was there anything that stood out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was in the gym constantly. And it was like the way she approached everything too was like, it was like with a sort of excellence. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna go through the motions and like whatever. It was like, no, like, I'm here to kick your butt in every single drill, every single practice, like. And especially whenever our like gray squad guys were playing against us, it was like, if you're across from me, you're my enemy, you know? And like, I think that's just kind of how you have to approach things to get better. And she had that, you know, next level mindset, and it really just raised us all up with her.
Watch the tape from that South Carolina game in the Final Four. Kate calls it her career highlight. And you can see exactly why when Iowa needed someone to execute the game plan against the undefeated Gamecocks. Kate was the one making the smart plays that created space for Caitlin's magic. She provided what she called a calming effect. Next to Clark's intensity, Kate could yell at teammates when they needed it, because she had built that trust through her actions, every single practice. Go back and watch the tape from that Final Four game against South Carolina. Kate Martin calls it the highlight of her career, and it's easy to see why.
If you had to pick like, kind of like a favorite highlight, like getting to the Final Four, is it beating South Carolina and breaking their streak? Is it, you know, getting to the final game? Like, what would have been the moment?
I would say beating South Carolina was like,
that was incredible.
That was like the best moment ever, because like we like all believed that we could make it to a Final Four, and so we were just like, all right, we made it to a Final Four, like, let's go, this is great. We didn't think we were gonna really make it to the national championship. Like the undefeated South Carolina, they're like Twin Towers down there, like just a very long, athletic, good team. And so when we like executed that game plan perfectly and beat them, that was probably that's like still probably my career.
Here's where it gets interesting. Their friendship wasn't just good for team chemistry, it was basketball genius. These two players understood each other's game so completely that they could anticipate moves before they happened. Kate knew exactly. When Caitlin needed the ball back after a defensive rebound, Caitlin knew Kate would be in perfect position for the hockey assist that led to an open three. Here's where it gets really interesting. Their friendship wasn't just great for team chemistry. It was a kind of basketball genius. Kate and Caitlin understood each other's game so deeply, they could predict each other's moves before they even happened.
I feel like looking back on it, and then even just talking to you now, it's like, yes, Caitlin is like a big focal point of the team.
Yeah.
She's gonna have to do a lot of the scoring, all the things. And you, it's almost like good cop, bad cop or something.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mean it in like
No,
literal terms, but she just had to like be herself, and that was gonna win you games. But then you had to come in and kind of be like a calming effect. And that, so I'm actually really curious, as these teams start to take shape in 2023 and then 2024, like what was your leadership style in conjunction with a player like Caitlin, but also the rest of your teammates?
But that's not all. Kate was doing the dirty work that doesn't show up in highlight reels. She was setting the screens that freed Caitlin for those deep shots she was rotating on defense to cover for Caitlin's aggressive steals she was grabbing. Offensive rebounds that gave Iowa second chances when Caitlin's shots didn't fall, but that's only part of the story. Kate was doing all the gritty, unglamorous work that never makes the highlight reels. She set the crucial screens that gave Caitlin the space to launch those deep threes. She rotated on defense to cover when Caitlin gambled for steals. And when the shots didn't fall, Kate was there, battling for offensive boards to give Iowa second chance opportunities.
I was definitely more of like the calmer presence and being like, hey, like, look me in the eyes, you know, deep breath, like it's all gonna be okay. And I think like the leadership style that I really had was just like trust. Like she trusted me because she had seen me like putting in the work in the gym. She knew how much I cared. Like I was only 2 years older than her, but like she believed that like I had her best interest in mind. And like I showed her that over and over again. Like I built a relationship with her outside of basketball. I tried to build relationships with all my teammates outside of basketball. So it wasn't like the only time I'm talking to you is out on the court and telling you like, hey, like you can't do that, or like, hey, like do that, you know, whatever. Is like,
it's called relationship equity.
Iowa's success during those 2 years wasn't an accident. It wasn't just Caitlin Clark being superhuman. It was two players who brought out the absolute best in each other, creating something that neither could have achieved alone. Kate Martin was the glue that held together one of the most successful runs in Iowa basketball history. Their college careers were perfect. They had figured out how to win at the highest level. They had built something special that college basketball fans will remember forever. Iowa's incredible run over those 2 years was no fluke, and it wasn't just about Caitlin Clark's brilliance.
it's like if we needed to get across to Caitlin, you know, like it was like Kate, like that was like my job at times. And then like her junior and sophomore year, like she had done so much like work on herself and like how to be like a great teammate and all of us together that like I didn't need to like, I don't know, like do all of that. Manage that as much as like I had in the past. But I felt grateful that, you know, she trusted me enough and like I trusted her enough too, to where like it was a working relationship. And so then, I just kind of did that with all of my teammates. And I felt grateful that like I was the person who could speak up and they
it's also great when you're
that.
like rewarded, right? And you guys were rewarded in multiple ways, but one of them was getting to the Final Four.
But the WNBA operates by completely different rules. Kate Martin walked into Vegas thinking her Iowa magic would translate instantly to the professional level. She was completely wrong. The Las Vegas Aces drafted her, but the reality hit her like a freight train from the moment she stepped on that court. Here's what happened that nobody talks about while A'ja Wilson and the Aces veterans dominated every single minute of meaningful basketball. Kate found herself glued to the bench game after game. The numbers tell the brutal story. She started averaging 20 minutes per game in May, but by September that number had crashed to just 11. 5 minutes per game, that's not development. That's being pushed out.